Let's jump right into this explainer and look at two mid-size SUVs taking very, very different approaches to family transport in 2026. If you're looking for a highly practical SUV packed with modern features, but you really don't want to pay those premium luxury prices, well, the Mitsubishi Outlander and the Haval H6 are probably already on your radar. But here's the thing. These two vehicles represent completely different philosophies. One focuses heavily on long-term familiarity, proven design, and three-row practicality. The other comes right out of the gate offering massive screens, immense plug-in hybrid power, and seriously cutting-edge tech for the money. So what does this all mean? Which philosophy actually makes more sense for your driveway this year? We're going to break this down head-to-head across 6 key categories. We'll look at price and value, performance and efficiency, interior and technology, safety and practicality, the ownership experience, and finally, figure out which SUV actually fits you. Okay, Section 1, Price and Value, comparing costs across global markets. Now, it's really crucial to note that our sources cover the Outlander primarily in the US market, while the Haval H6 is absolutely making waves across the Australian and UAE markets. It gives us a really fascinating look at global value propositions. Both of these vehicles are heavily targeting that critical mid-size sweet spot. The 2026 Mitsubishi Outlander starts just over $32,000 in the US, climbing up to around $46,000 for the top trims. Meanwhile, the Haval H6 kicks off around $43,000 drive away in Australia, or roughly 80,500 dirhams in the UAE. Its flagship plug-in hybrid tops out near 110,000 dirhams. They both offer incredible value, but, as you'll see, in completely different ways. Moving right along to Section 2, Performance and Efficiency. Powering your commute. The mechanical philosophies of these two SUVs literally could not be more distinct. We are looking at a classic combustion setup up against advanced hybrid technology. Take a look at the massive power gap here. For 2026, Mitsubishi updated the Outlander with a new 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, generating a modest 174 horsepower. Contrast that with the Haval H6. Even its standard 2.0-liter turbo pushes 235 horsepower. And if you opt for the plug-in hybrid, you get a staggering 360 horsepower. That is literally more than double the Outlander. But power is only half the story, right? The Outlander relies on a traditional, continuously variable transmission to keep things composed, delivering a really solid 28 miles per gallon combined. It's built for a smooth, predictable cruise. The Haval, on the other hand, leans heavily into its hybrid systems. The PHEV model boasts up to 100 kilometers of pure electric range, and it holds up. Even in the intense heat of the UAE summer, owners are reliably seeing 12 to 14 kilometers per liter in heavy traffic, with the AC absolutely blasting. And to ensure all that performance is actually usable day to day, Great Wall Motors heavily localized the Haval's engineering. They actually brought in a former top Holden engineer to tune the suspension specifically for rough Australian country roads, drastically improving the ride quality. For the Middle East, they fortified the air conditioning and added dust-busting air filters. They're actively adapting the car to regional extremes, whereas the Outlander offers a much more globally standardized, cushy ride. Section 3, Interior and Technology. Screens versus seats. Let's step inside the cabin and see how this builds a picture of two entirely different user experiences. This is where you'll interact with the car every single day. And honestly, the design choices here are incredibly polarizing. The Outlander gives you a highly refined cabin featuring a 12.3-inch touchscreen, but crucially, it retains familiar physical climate knobs and buttons. You also get an available 12-speaker Yamaha premium audio system. The Haval H6 goes in the exact opposite direction. It relies on a massive 14.6-inch display running their Tesla-style Coffee OS 3 software. It looks super futuristic for sure, but it absorbs almost all the physical controls right into the screen. Which brings us to a really common misconception. There's this tendency to look at spec sheets and assume that more digital features and bigger screens automatically make a car a better value for everyone. But is that actually true? Well, while the Haval feels incredibly cutting edge, that tech comes with a learning curve. Adjusting the AC on a busy highway requires tapping through screen menus. You might actually prefer the Outlander if you value the absolute simplicity of just reaching out and turning a physical dial without ever taking your eyes off the road. True value is really defined by what is easiest to use on your specific daily commute. Section 4, Safety and Practicality. Space for everyone? When we look at pure family use, the physical layout of these vehicles becomes the ultimate deciding factor for so many buyers. The Outlander distinguishes itself by squeezing in a standard third row, making it a proper 7-passenger vehicle. Now, that third row is tight, with just 18.7 inches of legroom. It's meant primarily for children or very short trips, but hey, it's there when you need it. The Haval H6 entirely forgoes a third row. It's strictly a 5-seater, but because of that, it offers a wonderfully wide cabin, a flat floor, and generous rear seat legroom that easily accommodates tall adults. This highlights another major misconception. Many buyers assume that having a larger SUV with more seats automatically makes it more practical for every single family. But let's look at the actual cargo numbers. If you have the Outlander's third row up, you only have 10.9 cubic feet of space left for your groceries. If you don't actually need to carry 7 people regularly, the Haval's dedicated 5-seat layout gives you a massive 560-liter boot space right from the start. That might serve your daily stroller and grocery needs a lot better than constantly navigating around folded third-row seats. On the safety front, both of these vehicles boast excellent 5-star crash ratings and robust driver assistance systems. However, the Outlander really steps up its game here. It features a class-leading 11 standard airbags compared to the Haval's 6. Both are undoubtedly safe, but the Outlander offers that extra layer of passive protection. Section 5. Ownership Experience. Trust versus Guarantees. Let's talk about what happens after you sign the paperwork and drive off the lot. How do these brands actually back up their vehicles over the long haul? Mitsubishi really leans into its legacy here, offering an outstanding 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty in the U.S. market, plus 2 years of complimentary maintenance. Great Wall Motors counters this fiercely. To aggressively build trust in newer markets like Australia and the UAE, the Haval H6 comes with a massive 7-year unlimited kilometer warranty and an 8-year unlimited kilometer guarantee on the hybrid battery. And this challenges one final misconception, the belief that Japanese heritage is the only path to peace of mind. Emerging brands like GWM are fully aware of this bias. They are using massive, comprehensive warranties to definitively prove their long-term durability and win over hesitant buyers. It's a real game changer. Finally, Section 6, which SUV fits you? Real-life scenarios and trade-offs. Okay, let's tie all of this data together. Based on everything we've looked at, exactly who should buy which SUV? Let's map out a few scenarios. If you handled the school carpool, the Outlander is absolutely your tool because of that third row. First-time SUV buyers are also going to appreciate its familiar layout. But if you have a long highway commute, the Haval H6 PHEV's 100 kilometers of EV range is simply brilliant. And if you want massive screens and 360 horsepower for under $50,000, the Haval is incredibly hard to beat. Ultimately, choosing the Mitsubishi Outlander means you're trading outright speed and massive digital real estate for 3-row flexibility, simple, intuitive ergonomics, and the comfort of a deeply established brand. Choosing the Haval H6 means you're giving up a third row and physical climate dials, but in return, you gain class-leading power, enormous screens, and highly efficient modern hybrid technology. Neither SUV is the absolute winner here. They just serve different modern families. So based on these facts, which philosophy truly makes the most sense for your driveway in 2026? Do you side with trust and simplicity or value and features? Let that question guide your test drives. Thanks for joining me for this explainer and keep learning.